you say it's best to obtain consent anyway? So we've spoken about the fact that consent is not the only condition that you can rely on, and you've got to pick the right condition for you. And we haven't even touched upon some of the sort of more kind of esoteric conditions, like saving someone's life.
Exactly. Or if you're a public authority, you're relying on public task as well.
But this is interesting because I think people still want to come back to this idea that they want permission, they want express permission. So, what's the answer, Nick? Is it best to obtain consent anyway?
Well, you have to pick your condition before you do the processing, and then you have to tell the person in the privacy notice what condition you're relying under.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be a bit confusing for the consumer if you're telling them you're relying on legitimate interest or a contract, for instance, to process their data, but please can they opt in anyway? Doesn't really make sense, and I think it's more confusing and probably not really helpful. If you're relying on consent, you need to rely on consent because that's the best condition for you to use. And there are specific instances, specific ways of doing things where consent is the answer. When you want to give someone genuine control over their data, that's when consent, you want to rely on that. But if you are marketing to them because they're an existing customer, if you're fulfilling a contract with them, then I wouldn't see why you would want to obtain consent anyway. It doesn't really help anyone. I think it's just going to confuse things more. So pick your condition before you do the processing and make sure it's the right condition. If you want to ask them for consent anyway, then it would feel like maybe that's a more legitimate condition for you to rely on.
Yeah.